Hey YouTube, Happy New Year's. Happy 2019. Hopefully it's a better 2019 for the stock market than 2018 was. Didn't do too well in 2018. S&P was down, I believe, a little over 6%. Obviously, a lot of the big indices didn't do too well. After a really good 2017 where, there was low volatility, there's still, the optimism of tax cuts and a lot of that kind of stuff going on. The markets reacted really good in that year, but ever since then, kind of been flat and down. So hopefully looking at 2019 as a year that hopefully some more positive results occur, across tech and a lot of different industries, which I'll kind of detail in this video. So I kind of mentioned in my previous video of purchasing power shares QQQ here, so the NASDAQ ETF. So just kind of wanted to run through my positions going into 2019. I did purchase a new position, which I'll talk about as well, and then just kind of what I've sold off, just to kind of tax loss harvest some of those losses to help offset those tax gains potentially. So starting off with power shares, this is kind of like I mentioned, like the ETF that I wanted to keep putting in money, if I have cash laying around, whether it's a bull or a bear market. Obviously, I think I really got a good price on this. I got in a little under 150. Kind of looking at the long-term chart, it's been trending upwards. Has all the big companies like the Apples and the Intels, Mastercards. So a lot of tech-oriented companies, but you also got things like Pepsi and a couple consumer staple companies, which really comprise decent amount within this ETF, even though it's heavily tech focused. I believe over 60%. So starting off with this 5 shares, hope for it to continue growing and hopefully rebound in January with earnings season coming up, and potentially a lot of good positive stuff coming up. So that's my first position. Moving on, so I purchased this one yesterday, New Year's Eve, during trading. So one that I've kind of been looking at for a while now, but it's basically the ETF MG Alternative Harvest ETF. So basically contains all the well-known cannabis and weed stocks in the market today. So kind of looking at their allocation. So their top one is Cronos with a little over 13% of the total holdings. As some of you may know, Altria, the cigarette maker, bought a significant stake in Cronos a couple weeks ago. So kind of that big tobacco money starting to kind of go in the market with weed stocks. So moving on to Canopy Growth, which comprises 7%, Aurora 7%, Tilray a little under 7%. The next one I'm not too familiar with, Corbus Pharmaceutical Holdings, so some sort of pharmaceutical company, which is interesting. I'll probably look up that one a little more. Then we have Organigram coming in at 4%, Hexel Corp, a little under 4%. And then rounding it out, CanTrust, Green Organic, Dutchman Holdings, and GW Pharmaceuticals, which some of you may be aware, the FDA approved their first pill a couple months ago. So got some positive stuff going for them. But basically those 10 positions comprise 57.25% of the total MJ ETF. So pretty significant chunk, but good to see a lot of big companies in there, like Canopy, Cronos, and Aurora. So just kind of got in under $25 for this one, 25 shares, a little over 7% on my portfolio. And it's cannabis stocks have had a tough year, so I think they've hopefully plateaued for the time being. So I thought it was a good entry point now. I'd still be comfortable buying more if it went below 20 or the $17-18 range. But yeah, I thought it was a good position to start off with, just a little bit here. So looking forward to rebound pretty nicely in 2019 as these cannabis companies start reporting their first earnings since it was legalized in Canada back in the fall, and kind of what they're doing internationally and how they're going to be approaching the U.S. market once it's legal. So moving on to Costco. Love Costco. Mention it plenty in my last couple videos. Didn't sell it, but comfortable with holding it as far as tax loss purposes go. But yeah, great stock for the long term in my opinion. E-commerce sales and customer traffic, renewal rates, all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, hopefully they capitalize on a strong holiday season. Planet Fitness, same, also really good performing stock for me, probably one of my best actually. But yeah, gonna continue holding into 2019 and look forward to big things from them. You know, I'll be listening to their earnings, see how many more stores they're projected to open, just kind of their, you know, all the different details that how this company makes money. So moving on to Berkshire Hathaway, like I said, stronghold for me again as well, over 12%. Ridiculous, really low price to earnings ratio, but you know, like I said, Warren Buffett's sitting on a lot of cash. We'll see what they do. Apple, same with Apple, has rebounded the last week here, so you know, let's see if it gets back to 170 in the next couple of weeks, and you know, coming up to their earnings. So Apple for you, and then Zoetis. So Pet Pharma, and yeah, just holding it and taking a little loss, but also pretty strong for the long term. So kind of an overview of my stocks here. I will be putting in some consistent additional capital, you know, in the next coming weeks. So sitting on some cash right now after I sold off Constellation. So you guys might have noticed Constellation is not here. So I sold it, 5 shares I had at the $160 mark. And yeah, so just kind of sitting on like a little over $1,000 in cash. I'm definitely going to rebuy in Constellation after a month, just so the wash sale rules, you know, don't apply to me there. But yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. Constellation's still gonna, you know, who knows, keep dipping, or even if it goes up, I'm still gonna buy in, I feel, at a lower cost basis than I had previously. It was around $214, so I think if I get in anywhere under 190 or so, I should be pretty good for the long term, and you know, still confident in that company. So sitting on some cash for the time being to rebuy into that, and then, you know, potentially putting more into the new ETFs that I got. So just kind of going to 2019, trying to be a little more conservative with these exchange traded funds. You know, this one in particular is really reputable, and there's a lot of great quality companies. So and then, you know, MJ's definitely a high growth company, and I will detail a lot of these individual stocks, I feel, in future videos. I just haven't had the time to put in the research and kind of go over the financials and stuff, but I think that'd be cool, a couple videos, you know, kind of talking about the different cannabis stocks in Canada, and, you know, potential big players in the US. So yeah, that's where I'm at, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope everyone has a good 2019, and hope it's a nice green week trading. So we'll see. Thanks for watching. Bye.